Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high level best of 3. Today in the bottom left as our blue Protoss player playing for Team Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is herO. And in the top right, in the red colors, playing for the Guangdong Freaks, it is soO. A beautiful match here, the number 1 rated Protoss player in PvZ and PvT. Of course, MaxSpecs is a higher rated in Protoss versus Protoss. And soO, well, definitely, I want to say a top 8 Zerg player. So a very high level match here, where I do believe that herO is going to be a little bit favored. One of the main reasons why herO, in my mind at least, is going to be favored is because he has such a large diversity of build orders. He can pull out anything, and he likes it all. He's good with everything. You know, one day in the morning he'll drink a cup of coffee. The next day he'll drink tea. And the other day just a cup of water, maybe some milk. And then on the 5th day, he breaks into your house, drinks your milk, and pees in the carton. That morning you eat cereal and you think it tastes weird. That was herO. And that's pretty much his style in Protoss versus Zerg as well. He's kind of out there, he's kind of wild, he does things you don't expect. Even when you believe that you should be expecting the unexpected, you still don't really see it coming a lot of the time. He has a bunch of different build orders and he switches them in and out of the build order rotation very quickly. So where often you have these players that kind of rely on 2 to 3 builds and they keep them in for a long time, it feels that herO always anticipates his build orders being countered, and before he loses, he switches them out, or he adds a new little trick, a small deviation, just something that makes it fresh again, because that is really what herO is. He's a very fresh player that every single tournament he plays in, he will have something new. Every single round of that tournament, he will bring in something new, and it's not going to be something massive. It's not going to be like one day he'll be playing a low gas unit style and the next day he'll be playing some high gas unit. No, he's been playing this very low gas style double forge for a long time in Protoss versus Zerg, and I'm completely expecting to see that again in this series. But the thing with herO is that he'll have a twist on it. Sometimes he'll open up with just an Adept and a Stalker and he won't chrono any of it. He'll take a faster 3rd base and maybe skip the 2nd gateway for a bit. And then the day after, he'll make 3 Adepts before he takes the initial base. Like, these things, they feel small, but as a competitor, it makes your early game plan, which the Zerg has. And if the Zerg, you know, most Zerg preparation is very focused on how to counter the Protoss in the early game effectively, because afterwards it's it's just a little bit more flexible on how the game has been going so far. So the first 5 minutes, and this is where herO often throws his curveballs, with Adept movement, with the amount of Adepts he builds, with whether there's going to be a Stalker or not, where the Chrono Boosts are being used on, like is it going to be on probes, is it going to be on units, is it going to be on the Stargate units? There's lots of things. So yeah, there's just, it's just a very interesting little thing. Oh, look at that. This Stalker is actually going to get a shot of, isn't it? Bam. Shoots it straight into darkness once again. Cool to see. Adept will shade up in towards the main base here. Should not let it finish. There's 2 links as well as a queen there. Would at best get a drone, I think. At best, if soO is a little bit slow when it comes to building spores. Metabolic boost is about to finish up here in 12 seconds. And that means that this bad boy needs to start returning back home. Well, hopefully right about now. If he wants to stay alive. Yeah, there we go. Surround. Will not take any hull damage. And gets to stay alive for now. Queen did get moved down. Oh, that's the reason why he did that, I think. So both of these queens don't just get to stay in the main. Double drones get taken out here. Nice little start. I thought like the control on that Oracle was a little bit sloppy in a way. I feel like they could have done more. That Oracle could have done more. That really is somewhat interesting. Second Oracle, yep, is going to move over here towards the pillar. herO does need to be careful that he isn't out of position with this Stalker. The moment these links want to come in for a run by. It seems like soO has different plans. She's going to be sending these links back home. Overlord will spot the 2 Adepts still being at home as well. That's important, because then you know you don't have to prepare anything for these Adepts on your side of the map. Ooh, here comes a link run by. Might actually pick off an Adept. Kind of risky. He's going to lose 3 links. 2-3 links for it. It's a good trade here for the Zerg player. Oracle is flying around. There's 3 Oracles out on the map right now. The damage has not been massive. There's an Evo chamber on the way, but this Evo chamber is a solid 40 seconds later than we usually see. So a bit of a unique opener, I would call it. Fairly unique. Single gas on the natural, 3 gas total. Means there's a little bit more money available for adding extra gateways in the very short term. Triple Oracle could actually fight this potentially. There's only 2 queens there. Oh, soO needs to be very careful here. Where did these come from? Must have shaded from the bottom right. We'll get 3 worker kills. Not the biggest deal. It's nice though to get a couple of worker kills. The reason why these stalkers on the map is so powerful is because it really allows you to deny a lot of the vision on the sides. So you force out a bunch of units and you deny vision on the sides of creep, on the sides of the map, making these adept run-bys a little more viable. This is an interesting run-by. I think that this could have gone a lot better here for soO. This worker line was completely empty. There was no battery there. And the oracles were simply too late. Splitting off 8 links there, focusing on the probes, definitely would have netted him a couple of probe kills, and it would have been huge. We see the follow-up here for hero is going to be a charge lot. Well, either an attack or like a macro variant of this build order. He has a relatively high worker count for this. Could even be looking into taking a fort base in the near future. And I'm kind of feeling a Templar Archives, perhaps a forge as well. And there's a bunch of gas here available. Surely a Templar Archives would be a correct call at this point. Fort base indeed is going to be taken here by this probe. We'll opt for that line base. Templar Archives as well as a robotics facility. We're still lacking, well, a forge. And honestly, most of the time we see double forges out of hero. So kind of late on those upgrades. It's not the end of the world because soO also is very late on the upgrades. Built his Evo chamber fairly slow and then also was slow with starting his +1 upgrade. So neither player will have any upgrades to speak of whatsoever. Zealots make their way towards the middle of the map. Ooh, 10 roaches popping out right now. Main, natural. Couple at the third as well, maybe. Just an overlord and 1 roach. Fort base extremely late here for the Zerg. Similarly timed to the toss. This is a scary army to fight against as well if you're a Zerg. It's so easy to kind of underestimate the power of the Zealot and lose all your links for free. There's also the possibility that these Zealots will come in for the run-by. Need to split off your units, which could suck. Queen's moving into a good defensive position. These links still don't have +1. soO needs to be so careful, especially without queens. Oracles above that could prove to be rather troublesome. Yeah, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. This is hero being annoying. He's drinking some milk in the morning right now with charge lots rather than the more standard blink stalkers. Do see some adaptations coming out of soO. Going a bit heavier on the roach. Well, a bit heavier. Fell asleep on that R button. With his nose or something. Well, 26 roaches. That's a lot. The roach is an asset and a kind of a liability at the same time here. It's nice to have against Zealot attacks, but if the Protoss supply goes up to like 180, even like 170, 180, all of a sudden these roaches, they just don't scale too well into a longer game. The moment Immortals start getting added, life really can become difficult. Banelings will be important here for big hits on these Zealots. There's lots of Zealots. The Banelings not actually getting great connections. Still might just be enough though with such a large roach force in the back and only a single Immortal here. I think that hero actually is forced to push back. Decent flank coming out of soO as well. These links do have +1. It's not helping too much if your army consists of 17 roaches and 6 queens. This is not a fight that hero can take or should have taken. He really should have moved back up the ramp defensively for a bit more. 1-1 was being researched. He had a decent bank. And on top of that, his opponent is practically all-inning into him off of 70 workers. Hero just attacked into an all-in on creep while getting double upgrades at the same time. That's obviously not quite what you want. Now he's going to be stuck here with a single battery. Defensively still looks somewhat okay though. I don't think that right now soO can really march up this ramp and kill this base. The battery is fairly annoying when it comes to that. There is 3 Immortals out already, which Immortals are fantastic, especially once that +1 finishes. But they're already fantastic. I mean, against such a huge roach count, hardly any links, practically no banelings whatsoever. As long as all these Zealots don't just get busted by the Banes, this seems somewhat viable. Hero needs to be very careful though. Here come the Banes moving forward. We'll take out the majority of those bad boys. Immortals stay alive though. Just kind of forming the backbone of this army. Would not mind seeing a small zealot run by towards the right or the left side. Actually would prefer the left side currently, because it would force the army back in kind of a big way. I think it's important that when you're doing this type of run by... Oh, hold that thought, as we have a little bit of an attack here. Once again, Immortals are going to stay alive, targeting down Banelings here. Good target fire out of hero. Making sure that not too many Banelings stay alive after this fight. One Ravager's going to get taken out. Needs to be careful though, can't be too far on the map. He's going to get surrounded right now. Needs to micro his Immortals out of this. Archon in the back will be capable of saving 4 Immortals with his large presence. A single battery, which could be overcharged potentially on the high ground, also... well, probably helping out. 8 workers have gone down. I'm not sure if that was on the right side or in the middle. I didn't quite catch that. Oh, that could have been the probes that I saw mining on the 5th over here. It's definitely a possibility. Prison being constructed as well. I do like a prison. Oh, Archon's gonna get lifted. We see her run by heading towards the right side at the same time. Just, yeah, here we go. Might take out this base, but it's not really that important. We have only some minor oversaturation. Hardly any, honestly, just because the work count for soO is so little. So, yeah, we'll actually get this base, but losing 8-9 zealots is not quite worth it. At the same time, Prison makes its way over towards the left side. Could potentially harass this base. And I think one of the key concepts here is to have enough zealots to threaten the queens, but not enough zealots that it is completely worth it for soO to pull back his entire army and kill it. Right? If you're warping in 12, 10 zealots, soO can just go back home, kill those zealots, and then continue the attack with a bigger army, and it will be a net win for soO. However, if he moves back his entire army for like 4 zealots, that would be super annoying for him, and maybe he'd want to split off part of his army, then have a less successful attack. So, yeah, this... not a huge fan of this. You're trading out army for a base. I don't think this is worth it right now. One of the big issues that hero has is production. He needs more time to produce more units. He needs to increase his gas unit count as well. And ideally you want to be trading these zealots out for stuff, not just right-clicking a base and hoping that everything will be alright. Long distance mining obviously still brings some income. So yeah, overall these were, I think, bad trades for hero. I like smaller run-bys, 4, 5, 6 zealots max really. Enough to clear the queens. But not enough to really make soO feel comfortable sending his entire army back. Okay, here comes a fight. These zealots are in so much trouble. If these banelings get to connect, do we have +2 yet? Yeah, we have +2, which means that these probes are in danger as well. There we go. soO not really controlling that too well, just like I'm not controlling the observer camp too well. So we missed some of the big hits there on these probes. Zealots end up falling as well. We have a big warp in here on the left side. Once again, we'll target this base. That's a base for a base. With 8 probes going down as well. We don't have any extra upgrades coming in for hero. And the main point of this style really is, well, the good upgrades, making all these gateway units trade a lot better than they usually would. However, if you're down in upgrades, you're down in army supply, life can just be very tricky. Uh-oh. soO potentially miscontrolling some of these Banes. No, it is hero who is miscontrolling here. He's going to fight his army in the middle of the map. And this is just not a viable fight here for hero. With the inferior upgrades, with the inferior army, seems to be getting pretty darn blasted here. Prism is still alive, which means these Immortals, yeah, have some more sustain, but not quite enough. That's going to be it for game number 1. And after that entertaining game number 1, we're here in our second game. Hello? He's just idling there for a little bit. I guess it doesn't matter if he's gonna idle next to the pylon or idle while waiting for the gas to open. Reminds me of the people that wait in front of the store. You know, sometimes you see this in the city. Store opens at like 11, or say like your H&M, and then people are waiting there at 10:35 already. Why would they do that? Do they not understand that there's opening times on the websites and even on the door? Like, just because you're standing menacingly in front of the store doesn't mean they're going to open the doors quicker. Also, why do these people form a line? The H&M is a massive store. It really doesn't matter if you're in first or third. It's literally irrelevant. It's not like the people behind you are gonna completely empty out the clothes that you wanted. Like, they have the same clothes like times 20 or something. It really makes no sense whatsoever. There's also only like 8 people waiting. It's not like for a new iPhone launch where there's like a line of 10,000 people. They all want the same iPhone, and there might actually be a risk of these products running out. It's not the same. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. It's like, just go do something useful with your life until the store opens. There they are in front of the H&M every single Saturday. Actually pisses me off when I see it. So much time gets wasted. You know, on the daily. Daily probably like thousands of human lives. Like years and years of a human's life just wasted waiting in front of the H&M. Why wouldn't the H&M just open up an hour earlier, you might ask? Well, if the H&M would open up at 10, then these same people would show up at 9:35. And that is the issue. There's no winning. You either need to open up so early that they're still asleep, but then they probably change their sleep schedule just to get there in time. Actually pisses me off when I think about it. What else pisses me off is the fact that soO moved his queens in the exact correct position to push this oracle in such a way that it got no kills. I think this is legitimately the first time that I've ever seen hero not get any kills with his first oracle. Sure, he got a creep tumor, but that's kind of sad, you know? That is not a good prize. It's not a good prize. I'm not sure if you guys ever played bingo, but usually for like when I was in like elementary school, we played bingo. Then you had like the cool prizes, and then at the end, everyone who didn't win anything got like a tangerine or something like that. It's like, how is that even a prize? That's kind of what a creep tumor is. You know you're gonna get the tangerine no matter your performance. That's what it is for these oracles as well. You don't even want to activate the pulsar beam for it. It actually actively pisses me off as well. It really does upset me. Anyway, triple oracle again, okay. I have a theory that the third oracle is a bait. I believe it messes with your build order more than it improves it. The third oracle is not actually that useful, and it's really, really expensive. And it becomes useful so late in the game that these 3 worker kills that it just got aren't quite as valuable as earlier worker kills, right? So you're basically throwing away 300 resources, 150 gas, 150 minerals on a 3 supply unit that is not going to provide too much value for you. In my mind. At least not directly. And it really messes with your initial build order. People don't realize this. Once they can charge, by the way. This time with a faster forge, faster Templar archives as well. It's being done off of 4 gas. Interesting. Very interesting. It feels like a more all-in version, despite there being a +1 here. Isn't that funny how that works? It just feels like this is more dedicated, needs to deal more damage. With the last one, you get a very fast forward pace, but here, I don't think that fourth is going to be there so quick. Now, the cool thing about herO's builds is that they all kind of look alike. So soO scouts this and sees no gas. Okay, most likely it's going to be a low gas style. But while in reality, well, it is a low gas style, but it's a low gas style. Ooh, with 4 gas, soO actually spots that. No wonder he's building roaches. I was like, how did he figure this out? It's building roaches. Because he knows playing against 4 gas. That's pretty cool, actually. Then there's going to be a double Archon warp in. Another big Zealot warp in as well. Then perhaps he pops down. This fort is still very fast. I'm impressed by these build orders. I really like them. I really do like them. hero has a large diversity of them bad boys. Like I said, they all look alike. They all play out slightly different. And they all also require a different counter. Although the Roach seems to be a fine answer against anything Zealot based, honestly. Huge fan of that unit, the Roach. Once again, soO really holding down that Roach button. Wow. He already has what? 13? 12 more. That's kind of sick. You know what the Roach kind of reminds me of? Shoelaces. It really sucks if you need shoelaces and you don't have them, but no one wants to have 12 packets of shoelaces laying around, you know? Because you're not really gonna be using them. You get rid of them, you start using them to wrap gifts or something. You know, you make origami out of the shoelaces, that type of stuff. Nice one, losing the Archons there, or losing the Prism. Keeping the Archons alive, Ling run by in towards the main base. And it's the same with the Roaches. Right now, soO has 23 Roaches and he's building 9 more while getting pure melee upgrades. This is kind of showing what he really wants to be getting right now. Like, he's getting upgrades for Lings, so he wants to build Lings, but he feels forced into building Roaches. And that's bad. That's really bad, because these units will not have upgrades. We can say, well, right now, the upgrades are equal, but they're not equal, because there's no Lings in... There's 8 Lings in this army, okay? That's not enough. to kind of justify the upgrades that are being put in the links. There's so many roaches in this army, but they're down an upgrade. They're soon going to be down 2 upgrades. And then these fights are going to be super one-sided, honestly. +2 Archon Zealot destroys pure roach armies. It destroys it in a big way. Just something to keep in mind. Blink Stalkers behind this, as well as Disruptors. Ooh, Oracles going to try and take one of these queens down. Never really works either, does it? They never come alone. It's insane. Actually insane. Anyway, triple Oracles moving towards the left side. A couple of Banelings being morphed in here as well. That's 19 of those bad boys. This looks like a powerful push. But once again, the Roach, you're being tricked by the Roach here. This is a non-powerful push. This is a... Look at this Disruptor. 3 Roaches down the drain. That's 8 supply. No, that's 6. Jesus, I can't count. Interesting blink forward. Loses all of the Zealots as well. That actually is kind of bad. Gives up the Disruptor. Has another terrible Disruptor. The micro for Hero so far this game has not been quite it. Has not been it at all, honestly. Is up to 6 gas right now. We still see soO holding down that Link Bane button. The problem is he needs to get rid of these Roaches. I'm telling you. These Roaches are the devil. Really want to get rid of them. Against this type of army, by the way, like a Roach Ravager Ling army, you could consider building more Oracles against this. Because Queens can't really go off creep. Well, they're trying right now, but it's not going to work. Pretty cool blink forward. I like that one. Good Disruptor hit as well. And now all of a sudden, look at the supplies. 169 against 171. 78 workers against 77. There's still 14 Roaches in this army. This army now is becoming a little bit more scary because it gets more Links and Banes, but it's not even maxed out at this moment. There's so many Disruptors, so many Archons, so many Stalkers. Oh my god, not a run by. That actually is pretty bad for Hero. It's going to force him to move back. Right now, soO should be moving towards the fort base. That much is obvious, right? You know he's going to be moving back. Baneling run by towards the fort should already be hitting. This is way too late. soO with some rather slow responses there is going to... No way this works. Oh my god, I love this attack. Because it probably makes Hero forget what's going on. Zealots will clean it up eventually. That's the beauty of +2 Banes, right? You only need 1 to hit. And it can deal so much damage. A couple more Banelings trying to run in towards the third base here. At the same time, though, Hero pushing in. I actually think Hero will just win the game right here, right now. Where are the Queens? The Queens are, well, massively out of position, which means that these Oracles were going pretty ham for a while already. Archons will tank a bunch of these Banelings. There's still 3 Disruptors alive as well. And 5th base has finished up for Hero. He's low in workers, but there's just not enough soO, it feels like. Fairly slow with attacking into Hive as well, which... in my mind, is a very powerful thing to have for that adrenal glands upgrade. Also for the possibility of going into lurkers against such an army. And it's an army that doesn't really have too many hard-hitting units. No immortals. These disruptors can be vipered in. But yeah, Hero just wins this fight right now with the 2-1 upgrades against the +2. Stasis Ward is going to hit as well, and this series is going to be all tied up 1-1. soO just does not have the units available right now. He has 7 Banelings done, 14 Links and 16 Banelings that are morphing in. On the other hand, we have 12 Zealots, 19 Stalkers and 5 Disruptors. I mean, it's just practically not possible. Oracle's still alive as well. Have actually proven to be very useful this game. GG gets called and Hero wins the second game. And after that fabulous game number 2, we finally arrived in game 3. And once you hit game number 3, you always wonder why we even played game 1 and 2. You know, the only thing that matters at this point is the third game. You know, the other games are merely a memory of the past. It isn't real anymore. It's just a thought. This is the only thing that matters, is the present. Every game should be a best of 1 in my opinion. We could just have multiple best of 1s. You know, 3 best of 1s, and then whoever wins the most best of 1s wins the series. That would make way more sense in my mind. Because now the first 2 games are practically useless. And it all comes down to a best of 1 anyway. So why not just play 3 best of 1s in a row? Then you can skip this entire garbage. And you would always force them to play all best of 1s. Sometimes you're in such good shape. You know, you're playing someone in a best of 3. And you feel like you're really owning them. And then after 2-0 it's over. And you kind of want to show off how good you are and also want to win the third game. In those cases, I think you should be allowed to request a third game to really, rub it in. But if you lose that third game, you will lose the series. So it's like a complete show of dominance, basically. If you feel so confident that you can't lose the third game, and if you do win the third one, you take your opponent's prize money. Something along these lines. I think that would be really sick. I really think that would be sick. I should host a tournament like that. I can literally do these things. That is proper wild. Okay, anyway. I'm gonna host a tournament like this, I've just decided. I'll figure out the rules. If any of you have rule suggestions for that, on how it would work exactly, maybe you have 2 players play a best of 5, and then at the end, the player who won the best of 5 can say whether he wants to play a best of 1 or not. A best of 1 on an opponent's map of choice. And then you can steal your opponent's prize money. That would be so sick. I think it's a sick plan, actually. I wish there was... Imagine that in the GSL. Win a best of 7, and then you can basically take the second player, the second prize's prize money. That would be mad. There once was a tournament, Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. I want to say it was 2014 or 2015. And they had a winner-takes-all tournament. First prize got 100k. 100,000. It was hero versus another TOS. I want to say that hero won that, but I'm not actually sure if he did. No, it was hero SOS and hero lost. It was SOS who won. I think with a couple of proxy gates as well against one another. But, oh, he messed up the wall. Look at this. It's an incorrect wall. Nice one, buddy. He's gonna pretend like it's an okay wall by building a pylon here. Then he'll fit the adept in this location. This is still not a wall. You should have built a pylon here. Come on, man. Get it together. Okay, he's opening up with a phoenix. This is ridiculous. Oh my god, hero. It's actually getting a little bit embarrassing. At the start, I was like, okay, there's some maps that are quite difficult. Inside and out wall is pretty tricky. Data C isn't even that hard. It really isn't that hard. It upsets me that he messes up his walls on Data C. This is one of the easier maps to not mess it up on. And yet here we are once again. Like links can fit through this. They actually can. This is a normal Evo timing, by the way. I think it was the first game where we saw that very late Evo timing. Not quite sure what happened last game. I think I was telling a very mediocre story in the mid-game there, so I didn't quite pay attention to it. Phoenix into Oracle. So a slight variation. Ooh, Phoenix into Oracle. That is 3 O's. Ooh. That's interesting. This is a huge investment of gas pre-tech. And you're forced to deal damage with this. Like this is not something small. It's kind of messing it up, honestly, the controller. I think he could have done way more. This is once again lifting the wrong queen here as well. This is kind of poor control out of hero. It's only getting, what was it? 3 worker kills so far. Oh, that's not pretty, is it? That really wasn't pretty. If you invest in 4 Stargate units pre-tech, I'm looking at, well, what is it? 10, 11, maybe 12 drone kills for the game to be somewhat even. If you're not getting those kills, your opponent can drone up to whatever drone count they want on 4 bases. How are you going to put any pressure on? The only thing you can do is minor harass. That's what we're seeing here. A couple of adepts make their way across the map. Hero needs to get so much done with these 2 adepts. And they're not going to be capable of getting anything done with these 2 adepts. Adepts get surrounded. One of them will die before the Shade maybe even finishes. No, Shade will finish up. See this bad boy killing 1 drone. 2 adepts for 1 drone is another bad trade here for Hero. These 2 bad boys are going in. Take out 1, 2. No. Messes it up slightly. Ooh, Oracle getting low. 7 workers have gone down so far. We have a Ling run by on the other side of the map though. So with 1 move, oh my god. 9 workers, 10, 11 workers killed. What a terrible start here for Hero. Absolute garbage. Might actually end up losing a little more. Is +1 already done? Yep, that explains why these links were so darn powerful. I don't think Hero quite expected them to be this powerful already. More links being constructed. 14 links are out. This is a recall on the Oracles. It's kind of forced to do it. He doesn't have enough units at home to defend. We have a Hydra. Oh, I love that. This means that soO wants to kill his opponent right now. Hydras mean business. With Roach, Ravager, Ling, Bane, it sometimes can be hard to move across the map if the Protoss player builds more and more oracles. But in this type of scenario, even if they build like 4 or 5 extra oracles, you just throw out 6, 7 Hydras and you're just going to be fine. Like no issue whatsoever. 11 drones on the way. It's going to be a very high worker count. 81, 82, 83, 84 maybe. Would not mind taking a 7th gas or a 6th gas here. 6th gas I think is pretty necessary. To have high Hydra and high Bane count. So you play 6 gas and then full saturation. It's like what? 80-ish workers or so? 76 without it maybe. And then, yeah, 79. Yeah, 79, 7 gas. Would be fine, I guess. Spore gets taken. Ooh, gets saved. Does not get taken out. One more worker on the way. First round of Hydras. Very important to get that round of Hydras out. And then the moment you start attacking is when you morph in all of your Banes. That really is a key moment here. A little bit sloppy in the macro. It's not using his larva. Still floating a decent chunk as well. More Hydras in production. Gonna go up to 15 Hydra list. Taking out these rocks. I think we're lacking some injects. No, they're all being injected. Why are these larvae so low? There's so much money here for soO. And the gas is too little. I really believe that a 6 gas is a necessity with this. He's just lacking gas. He hasn't built a single Bane yet. If he wants to go for a killing move, which definitely is viable, by the way. Let's talk about that for a second. A killing move probably would work here, but you're gonna need Banelings with that. And this is the timing to hit. You want to hit with your Banelings the moment your +2 finishes, the moment your... what's it called? The centrifugal hooks finish as well. These things have all finished right now. We see 12 Banes. Now starts building a gas. Yeah, it's too late. A little bit of anticipation. Can definitely be expected in this type of scenario, soO. It's been obvious to me that this gas mineral ratio has been incorrect the entire time. I seem a little bit harsh, but that's because these things are kind of figured out already at this point. 15 Banes. Could have been a lot more here. Way too many minerals in the bank right now. Might still be enough though. There's just not that much defensively. Storm is done. First round of Banelings will take out a cannon, but will die before they get any major connections. And the Ling run by here towards the left side. One Baneling is going to start morphing there as well. Hero spots it and sends over his Stalker. We'll take that out before the morph finishes up. More stasis wards are being put in position. We have +2 on the attack, +3 about to start, as well as the armor upgrades coming in here. Yeah, I don't want to say that soO threw the game here, but with a higher Baneling count, surely he would have been capable of at least taking out some probes on one of the sides. Now hero has a pretty decent setup defensively, actually, with a lot of storms. The only problem is no Archons yet, which means that just pure Baneling run-bys can be really difficult to deal with. Here comes some Banelings moving in to deal with the cannons, with the battery as well. Hydras in the back still dealing a lot of damage. No Banelings have connected with any workers yet. 2 Lings are taking out the gateway on the 3rd base, but that's not all that important. What is important is the defense here. 1 storm remains, and, well, almost no Banelings remain. That's not a great storm. Blinks forward, Zealot warping could help. Do we have charge? Yes, we do. Decent upgrades as well, of course, for the Zealots. Once pure Hydras remain, the Zealots could really do a number on the Hydras, because, once again, Hydras are not upgraded yet. They have the range upgrade about to finish up, but the Zealots are already with +2. So if you fight Hydra against pure Zealot, the Zealots are absolutely going to rip through it. 15 more Banelings are in production right now. These will be very important. We see hero moving forward with the Stalkers, wanting to pick off the Banelings before they ever reach the Zealot force. 8 gas Protoss though. If you leave a Protoss on 8 gas for a bit too long, their army becomes extremely strong. Fairly tanky with Archons, but you are going to need some storms. Against Ravager Ling Bane, it's often fine to just have Immortal Archon. But against Hydra Ling Bane, you really need some storms, or you're just not going to make it. Because the damage outputs and the range that the Hydras have, the concave forming, is just really powerful against Archons often. And if you have Banes to deal with the Zealots, you're going to be just fine. Here we go, Bane's moving forward, super battery gets activated, that is a big deal here. Look at these Archons, absolutely invincible right now. Not a single run by has been done to a base that wasn't already directly under attack. soO with a very one-dimensional attacking pattern, continues attacking into the same area, now needs to get something done. If he doesn't kill a bunch of units or if he doesn't kill workers, I think this is really going to suck for soO. soO comes in with one Baneling, gets a bunch of worker kills, that was a lot of kills. Only 63 workers remaining right now for hero, and that's exactly what soO needed. If he hadn't gotten those worker kills, if he hadn't taken out this gas as well and broken those defenses, he would actually be in a little bit of trouble right now. Not necessarily in danger of dying, but hero probably would have stabilized. Right now though, we see a couple of Templars being warped in. There is no counter attack that has been executed yet by this prism. That is somewhat surprising. Banelings are being taken out. That is 3 Banelings that just got blasted. Oh my god. 7, 8 Banelings there detonating on top of Stalker. Super Battery should be active once again. It's not being utilized quite yet. We just see Bane's right-clicking right now on this Nexus. Super Battery definitely could heal that if he needs to. Not sure if Hero wants to though. Hero is running low when it comes to units overall. Still only on 67 workers. 9 gateways, should be plenty honestly, but can't really seem to spend his money. Don't see continuous Immortal production either. Second Prism is now out. I guess for aiding in the micro. It's the only thing that makes any real sense. 6 base gets built here for soO. So soO kind of just containing his opponent on 5, getting Adrenal Glands. I really like soO's position here, right? Could throw down a Lurker then at some point as well. Despite the Immortal count growing. Sentry in the front. Does not use the Guardian Shield. Not that many Hydras there yet anyway. Storm actually going to hit those Archons in a big way as well. And I think this 4th base is going to fall. And honestly, with the 4th base, the chances of Hero ever winning this game also kind of fly out of the window. Maybe he loses this game. He loses the final best of 1 in this best of 3 series. That means it's over. We won't get another game. If Hero had won, we also wouldn't have gotten another game. That is how best of 3s work. The sad reality of life. GG gets called. soO wins this game, wins the series. Impressive stuff. Taking out the #1 ranked Protoss player. Hero perhaps a little bit sloppy here in the early game with his unit control. And really costing him. Yeah, sucks. Really sucks. Well done by soO. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to like button, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks so much for watching. And bye to the bye.